Hi, this is Chuck Oliver. Welcome to this week's Hidden Wealth Solution Review. Well, folks, there's an all-out war of Washington's war on our wealth. And they're not just coming after more tax from our income, but they're also coming from more tax from our assets, whether that's a growth tax, whether that's a higher capital gain tax, whether that's tax to our children on their inheritance, or whether it's the income that you're taking out of your IRAs. And the thing I want to bring to your attention that I talked about in Hidden Wealth Radio last week is the government giveth and the government taketh away. And if you remember, prior to 2010, you could not do a Roth conversion if your income was over $100,000. And many of you that we talk with and work with have incomes over $100,000. Well, what if they just change the rules and look at changing the rules to say, look, it's not about now going back to a certain income level like it is for contributions to Roth IRAs, but I'm talking about getting your IRAs out of Uncle Sam's crosshairs and insulated from the IRS by getting it tax-free into Roth IRAs. And this put Senator Wyden, right, out of Oregon, the one who's gunning for a growth tax and a transaction tax and all that the hard-leaning left that are spending like drunken sailors are trying to find avenues to tax us more to pay for all these ridiculous initiatives. He is picking on a gentleman who was an original investor in Facebook that had very minuscule amount invested into Facebook as far as the cost of their shares back in 1999. In fact, Peter Thiel, as I understand the story, who was the original founder co-founder of PayPal, he was one of the original investors in Facebook. And in 1999, I think the rumor has it he put in 10 grand. That's now worth over 5 billion, especially with the growth of Facebook. Not that I'm a fan, but I understand that obviously their stock has obviously done extraordinarily well. And Wyden thinks that this is a loophole and it should be for low to middle income only investors to be able to do a Roth conversion. Folks, let me teach you that this is likely on the docket as we're hearing, that if you've saved 300, 400, 500,000 or more, they could come in and say, you know what, because you've saved so well, you can't do a Roth conversion. So the time to get Roth conversion done is before they change the rules that may be after 2021. And one of the things I'll teach you at retirementprotected.com, that's retirementprotected.com, is not only the importance of getting your money untaxed, especially with the higher taxes coming, but not just tax protected, but market protected, but using a deduction in the tax code, while we still have it in the Tax Cut and Jobs Act before this administration completely abolishes it, that allows a 100% tax deduction if you're putting cash. You put IRA in like your RMDs and not have to pay tax on your RMDs. The deduction offsets the RMD. But if you've got IRAs, these are a ticking tax time bomb, folks, that many of your friends and neighbors that are in their 80s are calling us saying, save me, I'm paying way more tax than I ever paid in my entire life. Taxing 85% of their Social Security, making them pay higher Medicare Part B and D premiums, pushing them into higher marginal tax brackets. I mean, I could just go on and on. But the reality is you could use the deduction to do Roth conversion. Let the deduction cover the tax on the conversion and let your money do more for you, folks. You work hard for your money. Imagine more financial success, less stress, less worry, less tax. Being a low or even ideally a no tax retiree is possible, but you've got to learn how. I'll teach you some of the initiatives and some of the strategies that friends and neighbors like yours have implemented and lower their taxes lower than they've ever had before, and done it, in my opinion, in the nick of time before people look back and have regrets, either not being able to do conversion or getting stuck in a higher tax that they could have been in a lower tax had they addressed it earlier. Retirementprotected.com, retirementprotected.com. Protect your wealth from Washington's war on your wealth. Retirementprotected.com.